What's going on, guys? I'm going to teach you how to win a game with some tips for the Thousand Suns. Intro music. One problem I think people have with more elite armies in Warhammer 40k is they want to over upgrade their units, right? And that's because they see maybe Imperial Guard units with all the heavy weapons and special weapons, or maybe even Adeptus Mechanicus units, or maybe they just get a little starstruck when they're reading their codex about all the fun, interesting things they can take. And for me, I think there's in 8th edition, there's not as much of a. You're not paying a lot of points for just being on the table, right? Like being a body, a wound on the table. You're not paying a lot of points for. You're paying a lot of points for offense and defense. And I don't think they factor in wounds that highly into that. So when you got a unit of Rubric Marines, they have a Psyker, special bolt guns, special rules for their armor save. And then on top of that, they have more upgrades. They can take a Soul Reaper cannon, they can take flamers, and they can take 20 flamers in a 20-man squad, or 19, and then a hand flamer for the sorcerer. So I think it's trap. Yes, 19d6 automatic hits is going to kill something, but then what happens, right? There's still one wound models, and I think the problem is if you put too much into one unit, too many points, people are going to shoot it, but the more points you have into it, if they're going to shoot it anyway, they're actually benefiting by you having upgraded them. This happens a lot with, I believe, Plague Marines. They can take a lot of weapon upgrades, but they're still one wound models. They have some defense stuff, but they're, how many times have you rolled a 1? A million? So I think don't get caught in the trap of taking too many upgrades on your things like Rubric Marines. I'm actually building some right now, and I got an Assault or Reaper, Soul Reaper cannon. So I'm not saying don't ever take them. They're cool, right? This is about having a good time. But with the Rubric Marines and the Scarab Terminators, it's already going to be hard for them to recover their points. Like a 10-man Rubric Marine squad around like 200 points, he's going to have a rough time getting his 200 points back. So try to keep them cheap. Give them a decent enough model count, size-wise, unit size, maybe 15 if you're going to deep strike them or you're going to Veterans of the Long War them. But if you're just going to, if you're going to put them in a Rhino, maybe they'll have a little extra defense to, protect them before they start losing their models. But if you're going to deploy them in your deployment zone and walk across the table, for Rubric Marines, and the Thousand Suns especially, like your bolter's better than every other bolter in the game. So just, let it do its work. Let it do its thing. Keep your Psyker, D3 mortal wounds from a psychic power or something, or, an extra damage spell or a debuff or a buff is going to be probably a little better, or it's going to give you some extra offensive or defensive punch without actually spending the points because it's already built into the cost of the unit. So don't get caught in over upgrading your units. And also, if you want extra bodies, don't be afraid of those Zangors. They're pretty good.